Testing. Testing. Wait, can y'all hear me? No. Testing. All right, there it goes. There it goes. All right, yo. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. All right, cool. So, anyways, welcome back, everybody. If you're new here, my name is Mitchell, and today's episode I'll be talking about men must pursue women in the beginning. And so I do these YouTube lives every Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time. So if you guys do find this video content of value, you guys should show your appreciation down below. I have PayPal links and stuff like that. Or, let your friends know about it. Might be helpful. All right, let's get right into it. So we have a recap episode, and the recap episode I'm going to be talking about today is men create conditions, woman makes the choice. It's ultimately up to her, and it's her idea, right? And the slide is on love is freedom. Love is freedom. So the right woman will be your greatest cheerleader and will help you accomplish your dreams. Men just create the conditions to make those things happen, while allowing the woman to choose whether or not she wants to be a part of your life in the future or a part of your past. Because the reality is, if she really likes you, she will make it very obvious that she likes you and very easy for you guys to just walk through the doors. And that's the beauty of it too, is because when she likes you, she just, all you have to do is just walk through the door. Doors will be open. And this is why it is very important for men to pay attention to the details, right? Watch out for those signs, those indicators of interest, right? Watch what she does, not what she says she will do. And sometimes, it's a little bit more obvious, and other times it's not as obvious, but it's still up to us to understand and, break down what she's doing and what she says. So men just create this opportunity, so it becomes her choice to choose you. We create the opportunity. So that's why it is important that guys are the one that pursues women in the beginning. Very important. And it is okay to not know things. It is okay to not know things, but it is not okay to not learn from them. So if you know that there's certain things that you're not improving on, then it is up to you and your personal responsibility to get better and understand it. Now, it must be her idea. And what do you mean by that? Why does it have to be her idea? So in the beginning, the man, the guy, he pursues her first. Always have, always will. Now, woman can approach too. And I'm not saying that it will not work. But the average woman wouldn't just walk up to a guy normally and just be like, hey, how's it going? Usually she won't do that. But if she does, consider yourself pretty lucky, because most women don't do that. So if you're interested in her, you just walk up to her, you talk to her, you get to know her a little bit, right? You get her phone number, and then you have to set up a definite time and a definite date. Those are the two most important things: a definite time and a definite date. So what does a definite time and definite date look like? It's like, hey, I will see you over here at this time, say 7 o'clock, at this date. Definite time, definite place, and definite date. So instead of just two things, it's three things, right? Definite time, place, and date. So she knows. And you don't have to really talk after that. You don't really have to talk. And if she wants to talk to you, then, you could communicate with her through text for a little bit. But try to save some of that mystery, so when you guys go on a date, you have a lot more to talk about. Because if you understand this, dating is like tennis. And once you hit the ball over the net, all you have to do is wait for her to hit it back. So she hits it back over to your side. So if you left her a message, you have to wait till she messages you back, till she responds to you back. Hello, Jane, how are you? So men who over pursues can't wait till she responds are often viewed as low value men. They're often viewed as low value, and men who can't control their own feelings, right? Guys that can't really control their own feelings, they need to know where he stands with her. Like that turns a woman off immediately. So you want to be a guy that understands, like, hey, you know what? You hit the ball over the net. It's up to her to respond. So you just gotta wait for her, right? And the beauty of dating is like tennis is. What are you talking about? Today I'm talking about men pursues women in the beginning. So dating advice. So back to it must be her idea. Men who over pursues are, low value, right? And the beauty of dating is like tennis is that when you hit the ball over the net, wait for her to respond, it becomes her idea. You allow her to come to you. And it's her idea. And when it is her idea, all you have to do is walk through the door. So the idea is that you just want to go slightly slower than she does. Pokemon. All right. If she's texting you, keep it short and set up a date. Just set up another date, okay? The phone is for setting dates, not to get to know each other. If she's really into you, she will want your attention all the time. If she has high enough interest, she won't be able to keep her mind or hands off of you. Now, typically, a man should not do more than 20 to 30% of the pursuing after he gets to know her. It has to be her idea. And you go slightly slower than she does. Slightly slower. And it's always better if she's more into you than you are into her. I'm going to say that again. It is always better that if she knows that she is more into you than you are into her. And the reason why is because after all, that's feminine energy. Feminine energy is about bonding. It's about connecting. It's about relationship. It's about relationship labels. You're really good. You can type really well for a 4-year-old. I'm gonna give you that. So after all, it's feminine energy, right? Bonding, connecting, relationship labels, all that. It's feminine energy, and it's always better. It is always better if she is more into you than you are into her. Because so many guys I've talked to where they'd be like, oh yeah, it has to be 50-50. That's what she wants. That's what she wants. And when you give her 50-50, y'all become roommates. So, and if you, like I said, if you get a group of women in a room and you ask them, woman doing 20 to 30%, she does 70 to 80% of the pursuing, where we only do 20 to 30%, almost 100% of the time they would disagree because they will want their man to want to go back to them. But what they don't understand is that what she wants and how she emotionally responds to are two different things. And when you pursue too much as a guy, eventually you're pushing her away. Like I said, it's always better if she comes to you, if she wants your attention. And all you have to do is just respond and be like, of course I'd love to, set up a time, set up a date. And it will always be her idea of wanting you, and you will never be turned down. If a woman's head over heels in love with you, she is not going to leave you. So it is always better, us as guys, to create conditions and move slightly slower than she does, so that it is her idea. Okay, you guys slowly let that sink in to your philosophy, because men who don't understand this, you're gonna start seeing like why. So like I said, you have a choice. You could listen to me, or you could listen to other people. You could listen to your girlfriend, like, oh, my girlfriend says she wants 50-50. You could listen to her. And then eventually you're going to come back to me. Hold on. All right. I just banned. Peace out. So, courtship is a slow process for women. Courtship is a slow process for women. So, a lot of this, everything that I've been learning, Coach Corey Wayne, big shout out to him. So thank you, Coach. So credits to Coach. Credits to Coach for this. So courtship is a slow process for women. So for women, romance, courtship, intimacy is a very slow process. And it takes time and it cannot be rushed. It must not be rushed. Men who don't understand this will try to move things along way too fast before she's ready, which often leads to rejection. And when a man goes slightly slower than she does, this will help facilitate a woman's natural tendency to chase and pursue a guy because it's feminine energy overall. After all, it is her idea. So letting this be her idea, it helps facilitate her natural tendencies. Now, I haven't spoke about structured women, women that be like, oh, I never do this on the first date, or I never do that, and this, like, though, I'm all this that I'm talking about are for normal, happy, healthy women. Happy, healthy, normal. Okay, feminine woman. If she's like, oh, I'm a boss girl, I need a man to do that. It's like she's not into her feminine. And is that really the type of person that you really want to be around? Right? You have to be the judge of that. But, I want a woman that her natural tendency is to want to chase and pursue me. That's naturally her idea. Hello, Cherry from London. Love London, by the way. Borough Market. Right? Tate Modern. Really nice. Anyways, let's go back to this. So, anyways, letting it be her idea. And when it is her idea, all you have to do is walk through the doors. Like I said, all you have to do is walk through the doors. And when it becomes her idea, there's no friction. The signs are there. And all you have to do is create the opportunity for you guys to get closer and closer. How would one initiate pursuing a man? Well, the man will pursue first in the beginning. Okay. So the guy will pursue the woman in the beginning, getting to know her or walking up to her, getting her phone number, setting up dates, definite dates. So definite time, definite place, definite. So it will be like, say, for example, if it was this week, right? Let's just say he met you on the 17th on a Monday. And then he wants, so wait. Pretty much. Or you could do it too, right? I'm not saying that it wouldn't work, but usually woman wants a guy that is a confident guy that could approach a woman. You know what I mean? That's what y'all want. That's what you're emotionally respond to. And that's what excites you. That's what turns you ladies on, right? So anyways, definite time, definite place, definite date. Say y'all met on a Monday, the 17th. Today's the 22nd, right? Let's just say he's like, hey, you know what? Y'all setting a time, a place, and a date, which is, hey, I meet you at this place. So wherever place y'all at, right? I'm in Olive Garden, all right? At 7 o'clock. Olive Garden, 7 o'clock on Saturday, the 22nd. How does that sound? That's it. If they're in a different state, you can do a FaceTime date. But eventually, you guys have to meet up. Like, one thing with long distance is that y'all still have to meet up. You can keep it at distance for a little bit, create that mystery. Oh my God, how does he look like? I wonder how he feels like. Does his breath stink? Like, does he not? Right? Things like that. Yeah, trust and communication is key. But, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. This is the dating and courting phase. Because you don't know what you don't know about this person. And you just, maybe you're just attracted to this person. This person, you don't know whether or not you have good chemistry. And so, if y'all from different states or, from long distance, whatever you call it, then what I would highly, highly, highly suggest is that you guys set up a date like as if you are on a date. So maybe he buys you a meal, right? He orders you a meal and then you go pick it up. Hey, I placed an order over here somewhere near you. If you don't feel comfortable giving your address right away, maybe you don't want him to like Uber you food yet. All right, fine, no problem. Hey, I placed an order. I repaid for it. All you have to do is go in and pick it up. That's nice, right? It's like as if you have to go there and pick it up, get the food, go back home. FaceTime date. For each person is different, I guess. Some people don't roll with the long distance, I guess. Yeah, not everybody's long distance. You don't think he's aware of you? Then you gotta let it know, right? You gotta let it be known. So, let's see, where was I at? All right, so when it becomes her idea, there's no frictions. The signs are there, right? And basically, what you want to do as a guy is you want to get closer and closer, and to eventually, y'all end up inside, inside her. I don't know what certain things I can or cannot say on YouTube, but that's the idea, right? Woman who has high interest will make it easy for you to get closer in proximity, physically, things like that. Oh, thank you, Victoria. Appreciate it. Woman who has low interest will be wishy-washy and won't want to agree on dates. So what you're really looking for as a guy is you're looking for someone who has high enthusiasm. Now, on the other hand, men who try to rush intimacy, that over pursues a woman, like constantly texting her, seeing how she's doing, good morning, sending flowers. It's like, no, she's not your girlfriend. Like, you need to just tone that shit down, right? That's over pursuing, right? Call it the illusion of action. Oh my God, I need to do something. Oh, she's pulling away. I need to do something. And a lot of times when women pulls away, it's not that she's pulling away. Most of the time, she's pulling away because she's testing to see whether or not this guy could be cool when she's not around. Because as a guy, and I'm going to talk about this later on in this episode, but as a guy, you want to be a guy that's a focus. You have a purpose in life. You have a mission. So you're going to be busy doing certain things for yourself. And if you're busy, most of the time, you're not going to have a lot of time to like give your time away to someone that has low interest. These kind of people change the instant you guys are a thing. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Victoria? And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you too? Okay, so let me see, where am I? Okay, so woman who has high interest, make it easier to get closer. Woman who has low interest, kind of wishy-washy, don't really want to. She has low enthusiasm. Okay, so early 20s. Okay. So what you're really looking for as a guy is enthusiasm. Now, Victoria, I'll tell you a little bit more about how to spot out certain red flags. But, right now, this is just the dating phase. You don't know anything about this person. And most people can hide themselves within the first 90 days. Within the first 90 days. Like, you don't really know this person. So what you're doing is, this is the vetting process. When you go out on dates, and when you're going out on dates, you're looking to see how this person responds. How does this person treat the waiter? How does this person treat you? Is he kind? But is he like overly kind? It's like is he and what I mean by overly kind is like, oh, he agrees with you. It's like, oh yeah. Oh, I don't really like R&B. And you say, oh, I love R&B. And he was like, oh yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, I love R&B. It's like, okay, like this guy has no backbone, right? And then that's why it's like, yeah. So you kind of understand, right? So this is the whole vetting process. And it's also important to understand, like, okay, like what is this person's life right now currently? Are they moving towards something in terms of growth, right? Hi, Tracy. How you doing? So you're looking for someone that has a growth kind of mindset, that wants to become better. But you're also looking for a teammate. You're not looking for someone to pick them up every time they're slacking off, right? That's not someone you want to be around. And so that's why it is important. Like, there's a lot of men out there that talks about like, oh, looks, money, and status. And it's like, okay, those are very those are, I wouldn't say the most important thing, but it is also, you can't ignore the fact that if they don't have these type of values, like it kind of raises some sort of concerns. So you're looking for someone that takes care of themselves mentally, physically, emotionally. Are they grounded? Are they understanding? Are they emotionally regulated? Like those are certain things that you want to look for in a relationship as you're in this vetting process. And you're also looking for someone that's fun, because love is playful and fun, but doesn't take life too damn serious, doesn't take themselves too damn serious, but they have certain things that they need to do. They understand they have priorities. So it's kind of finding that healthy balance, and that's very important. And you're in your early 20s, so most of the guys that you're probably going to be dating, I'm assuming 25 and up, right? Maybe there's a certain cap for you. But the beauty of how this things work is, us as guys, especially as you understand you're more emotionally regulated, at this point, age is just a number for us guys. How can I ask a guy out without sounding desperate? You could just ask them. You'd be like, hey, do you like eating? Find out what they like to eat. Noted. Swags. What's up? Yeah, all you have to do is, I mean, if the guy is not asking you, obviously most women want a guy to ask her to go out most of the times. And that's because the number one most attractive thing to any woman is confidence. And if a guy can't walk up to her and display that, then it's kind of like, well, you like him, but you will like it more if he approached you. So when a woman is interested in a guy, she will put herself in proximity physically around a guy. That's what they would do. Proximity. Her back might be, she might be talking to her friends, right? So this is you're her, right? You might put your back to him, trying to, be in proximity, but you're not going to face him because you might be a little bit shy. You might be a little intimidated, but you want him to be like, hey, ask me out. But they're not asking me out. It's going on like this for a while. Yeah. And you know what? And that's the fact. It's because most guys nowadays, they don't feel like they need to. And this is why I always try to convince guys to, like, hey, you know what? I get that there's dating apps, and I think dating apps will work, but it takes away a lot of the anxiety that most men need to kind of get through in life in order to build themselves up as to a guy. So like this whole dating apps, it's like, look, if I could pick a date taking a shit, it takes zero effort. So you got dating apps, you got corn with the P, right? You got all these things that takes away all the anxiety of, approaching a woman, getting her out to go on a date, feeling potentially getting rejected. Like I tell guys, like, go out there, get rejected. Or if she says yes, that's great. But you know what? The rejection is what's gonna teach you. It's what's gonna teach you, like, damn, there's different ways on how to approach certain things. And the more you do it, the better you get. Anyways. Let's get back into this slide. So, on the other hand, low intimacy, right? On the other hand, men who rush intimacy, over pursues, and displays too much interest before she is ready. And when I say before she's ready, it means it has not become her idea yet. This tends to lead to rejection. Most guys that over pursues, like, hey, how's it going? Hey, honey. It's like you're like, I didn't even think about calling you honey or baby, and he's calling you that, it kind of turns you off. But if you're like, damn, I wonder what's it like, how come he's not calling me like honey yet, or babe, or whatever, like something sweet, how come he's not giving me all these sweet names? It creates a little bit of mystery, and that's what kind of helps facilitate you wondering about him, making you want him a little bit more, missing you a little bit, like you missing him a little bit. And so what you're gonna do when you start missing him, you want his attention, you're gonna send a text. You're gonna be like, and a woman's Greatest pickup line is hi. 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 Smiley face. That's all you need. Us guys, we gotta do all this crazy shit, right? But you ladies, hi. Smiley face. That's already inviting enough. It's like, hi, come talk to me. So woman needs to feel like she is invested into you in order for her to find value in you, right? This is why you move slightly slower than she does. And when you move slightly slower than she does, it's already her idea. And all you have to do is pick up that's the signs and be like, that's my go-to. So an example is maybe you're out on dates and you guys are walking. Women, ladies, you know, when you're walking around a guy that you like and you like him, what you're naturally going to do is you're gonna naturally bump into him. You're gonna be closer to him. Maybe your hands might bump into his hands when you're walking, right? And then all he has to do is just hold your hand. Come over here. And he takes the lead. So he walks. And then there's little things that he could do that might make you feel a little bit more safe. Maybe he makes you walk on it. So maybe he's holding your hand. And he's like, you know what? Go walk around and hold my hand over here. So he moves you towards away from the streets, but towards the building instead. So he will be towards the street while he's walking. You know what I'm saying? And so those little things might add up. But at the end of the day, he has to be the ones to read the signs and understand certain signs. Maybe she's playing with her hair. Maybe after you guys eat, you go to the restroom, you come back out. Does he notice certain things that's changed? Maybe when you were eating all the food, right? You might have been a little messy. It's all good. You went to the ladies' room, you came back, you have lip gloss, you have lip balm, whatever, right? Naturally, if you want him to kiss you, you're gonna highlight certain areas. So it's like, guys, you have to watch out for these cues, these indicators, so that you could walk up and be like, okay, you're like, this is what I should do. This is how I should proceed with this, by going slightly slower than she does. Because when you go slightly slower than she does, it's already became her idea, and all you have to do is help facilitate that. And so is why, right? This is why it is very important for a woman to feel like she is invested into you in order for her to find value in you. And that's why guys that are way too nice and are willing to do things for her, right? Everything for her. It's like, well, she doesn't feel like she needs to invest in you. And so why would they need to feel like they need to do anything else? It's like, well, and most guys are willing to do that anyways. What's up, Bree? How you doing? It's good seeing you. And so that's why, yeah, it has to be her idea to want to invest in you in order for her to feel attracted towards you. And she needs to respect you. If she does not respect you, she will never love you. Love always follows respect. So wherever respect goes, that's where love follows. And so most of the times, during like the end of the relationship or towards the end of the relationship, usually the woman would lose respect some way or another, and which is why she would be like, you know what? I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, and she's gonna leave. Okay, so also, this is why it is important as a guy to have a purpose, a mission, and a focus as a man. Because this way your energy is being spent on important things in life, where you're not making her the center of your life. She should be a complement to your life, but she should never be the center of your life. And the reason why you don't want her to be the center of your life is because if all your energy is invested into her, like, I need to make sure that it's like, she's a grown woman. She could take care of herself. But when she needs me, I will be here. That's the type of mindset. That's the type of guy that you want to be. I'm the guy that she could always come to me for help whenever she needs help. I'm the grounded rock in the ocean. Waves are pushing against me. I'm not going to move. I'm not going to budge. I'm going to be her center. So kind of like the mindset of, if you were the father and you have a little daughter and your little daughter gets upset because some little boy at school was making fun of her pigtails, right? Or whatever. And she comes over, to her dad and sits on his lap and be like, and she's crying. And the dad is a very centered guy, very grounded. He's like, what's wrong, honey? Right? Baby, what's wrong? Talk to me. What's bothering you? Why are you crying? Oh, this boy was picking on me. And boys do that. They sometimes they're a little mean. They're a little mean because they want your attention. They're too afraid to tell you that they like you, so they become bullies. They become bullies so that they could try to get close to you, but without saying that they want to get close to you. Is that true? Is that true, mommy? Mommy, is that? Yeah, it is. And I understand that because when I was younger, I did the same thing. How do you think I got with mommy? Things like that, right? And so you're supposed to be that grounded person in the relationship as a guy. Same thing if you were to have kids. How are you going to help facilitate? If you're the man and you're the masculine energy in the relationship, how are you going to help facilitate a happy, healthy relationship if you're not even grounding yourself? So whether if you're in a relationship or you have kids, like the most important thing is what type of person are you going to be to show the future on how they're going to behave. So that's why I was like, it's very important to have a mission, a purpose, and a focus as a man. She should be a complement to your life, not the center of your life. All right? I have 2 more slides. Okay? And wait, scroll. Okay. Women need to know. Okay? Women know that the average woman is very familiar with a guy or the vibe of a guy that is too pushy, he's too rushing, right? Too rushed, and too relationship focused. These type of behaviors, it kind of shows a lack of self-worth. They're kind of needy. They're seeking a lot of validation, which further translates to like he doesn't really feel worthy of himself. He doesn't feel like he deserves you. A woman will always want to be with a guy that feels like he deserves her. It's like, why wouldn't she want to be with me? Absolutely, she would be with me. I take care of myself. I educate myself. I take care of myself mentally. I take care of myself physically. And I'm grounded. I don't lose my shit, nor do I lose my shit when things happen. I'm a protector. And so it's like, these are all certain things that you have to be working towards. Yes, you have to do all this. You just can't have one thing and not the other. Like, you have to be well-rounded. And that's why, like, you see the richest people in the world, they have all, like, billionaires that would even lose. Okay. I don't get into anything political over here. So, I appreciate if you keep those questions to yourself. But the average woman is very familiar with these type of guys, right? And so, like, if he's a little bit too pushy, needs too much validation, needs to know where he stands with her, it turns her off immediately. It's because those are more feminine energy. And because those are more feminine energy, when a guy displays those type of energy, it causes her to lose attraction because it becomes, there's no sexual polarity in that. She doesn't feel like, damn, I'm dating a guy. She feels like, I'm dating another chick. And so that's why a man needs to know, like, hey, I am worthy. I am this confident guy. Maybe I might not know everything, but I'm confident that I could learn. Like, that's the beauty of that. And that's that unrealized potential that attracts her. It's like, okay, he might not know it, but I know that if he really put his mind into it, he will learn this thing like really quick because he's always capable of learning something really good. So you want to be competent and confident. You want to be confident in yourself that even if you don't know something, that you're going to be like, I could learn it. No problem. What's good, man? So men who love and value themselves, they take their time in the relationship or in the dating and courting phase. So men who love themselves will take their time. And he has a mindset of, and not that you will say this to her, you're not going to say this to her, right? But it's what does she have that she can offer to me? Because I'm in this relation. I'm trying to get to know her right now. But what does she have that she can offer to me? You're not gonna say this to her. You're not gonna be disrespectful. You're not gonna be like, well, what do you bring to the table? It's like that just it's not a competition, but that's what you're looking for. What does she bring? What can she offer to me that makes my life easier? Is she a supporter or is she looking for someone to carry dead weight? It's like that's not what I'm looking for. So what I'm looking for is someone that's easygoing, that's fun, that's easy to get along with, right? That has good character. We have good chemistry too. We enjoy each other's company. And does she have similar goals? Does she have similar values? Does she have certain things that, like, okay, similar goals is like, well, fitness. Fitness is very important to me. So I feel like that it should be important to her. And it needs to be important to her because fitness is important because, and I'm not talking about being on stage and things like that. I'm just talking about, look, every day you wake up, you eat healthy, most of the time. Most of the time. And you can have days where you go out, you have some drinks with some of your friends, but most of the time you take care of your body, about 80 to 90% of the time. And then the other 10 to 20%, it's like, okay, you can mess around, you could go out, you can have some fun, right? You still gotta live life a little bit. Most ladies are not easygoing, sorry ladies. Well, that's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for. But in order to help facilitate that, us as guys needs to know how to act as men. You see what I'm saying? Because when we learn how to act as men, we could not be wrong. If we're respectful, we're confident, we take the lead in the relationship in the beginning. It's like we're doing everything that we could. And then you just going to see whether or not she responds well to that or not. And if she doesn't, then you'll be like, hey, you know what? Maybe it's not for us. And you're willing to walk away from that. And being able to walk away from that displays a lot of, damn, like, this guy must have a lot of options. But he chose to come out with me today. But you're not going to say that to her. But she might be thinking that. And, the whole idea is like, oh, a lot of people be like, oh, you got to fake it till you make it. Like, you might not have a lot in the beginning. And that's true. But you can't stay in that type of mindset. You have to eventually build that philosophy. It's like, look, I'm not where I'm at today, and I might not be where I want to be in about 5 to 10 years. But I know as long as I continue doing that, I will get there eventually, right? Because most people could overestimate what they could do in a year, but underestimate what they could do in 10. So it's like that's the importance of building yourself up as a person. So, anyways, you're looking for similar goals, similar values. What does she value? What do you value? Like, I can't be with someone that stonewalls me, that doesn't want to talk. It's like, that's not how things work. That's not how you communicate. I value monogamy, which means that, look, you can have guy friends, that's no problem. But then if all these guys, like, if you're talking to them and all they want is to get into your pants, it's like, why are you still entertaining that? So now you're looking for similar goals and similar values. It's like, do you want to be around a lady that entertains other guys? It's like, oh, this is part of my job. And so, well, hey, if that doesn't fit into yours, you can walk away. You can always walk away as a guy. So it builds you up. It builds your character. Okay? So it's not about playing games and being someone you're not. It's if you adopt this type of mindset, she would never have to question your intent. And that's the beauty of that. If you adopt a certain mindset of being like, hey, like what does she really have to offer for me? Because, I'm working on myself. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm looking for someone that's easygoing, easy to get along with. I get that she's beautiful. That's great. Beauty is very common. But what I am looking for is someone that we could get along with. When things kind of hit the fan a little bit, how do we settle our problems? Like, because eventually not everything is going to be its all-time high. How she's going to solve our problems together? How is she going to communicate? Does she yell? If she hits, that's already an instant no. If she cheats, instant no. Like I'm out. I don't tolerate that. And whatever you tolerate, you invite more of. So be careful what you're inviting into your life, because weakness invites aggression too as well. So if you're a weak person, well, guess what? Other people's they're gonna take advantage of you. This year we celebrate our 34 years of marriage. Oh wow, congratulations! Don't go to bed upset. Yep. Some people like to do that. They will make sure they want to punish you, right? People who stonewall, they don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about it. They stonewall you. They don't want to talk about it. They make you wait. It's like this certain form of punishment to punish you until she feels like, oh, he already has enough of my punishment. Then she goes back to talking to you. It's like, no, absolutely not. That's not how we're gonna talk about things. At least not with me. If you want to be with me, that's not how it works. And so you gotta set and enforce healthy boundaries, and that's the beauty of that too. Is understanding like, hey, what do you want? What do you like? You have to know what you want as a person, whether you're a man or woman or whatever, right? Like you have to know what you want, because if you know what you want, you will no longer tolerate things that you no longer want to tolerate. And so that's the beauty of that. But most people don't know what they want. They say they do, but when you ask them, they don't really know how to respond. So it's better to write things down. Write down what are your core values? What are certain things? Like, do you want someone that lies and cheats? Some people are okay with that. Like, I can't speak for everybody, but if you want an extraordinary life, you have to know what you want. Otherwise, anything that comes at you, you're just gonna be willing to accept. So anyways, you want to learn to adopt this type of mindset, so she would never have to question your intent. She will be asking you questions, especially if you're just kind of dating and you know what you want. You're kind of mysterious. You're fun. You're playful. You don't take life too damn serious. She'll be asking you questions like, let's just say a couple weeks in, like maybe a month and a half in, she's going to be asking you questions instead of questioning you, right? She's going to ask you questions like, so where is this going? Where is this going? Are you seeing it? Are you seeing anyone else? And she might even say, well, I want you to only see me. I don't want you to see anybody else. And so us as guys, we should never assume. Never assume. You should always ask, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by I don't want you to see anyone else but me? What do you mean by that? That's maybe her way of saying I want to be with you. Well, what do you mean you want to be with me? Like, what does that mean? And you want her to say it, basically. You want her, well, I want to be your girlfriend. Oh, so you're saying that you don't want me to see anybody else because you want to be my girlfriend. Is that right? Yes, I just said that. And she might be a little bit shy about it, right? You'd be like, oh, okay. And you can play around with it. You can have some fun, right? And if you want to be with her, yeah, then absolutely. But if you don't want to be with her, don't play games with her. Don't waste each other's time. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can have some fun. Don't go to bed upset. Want a great life? It takes two people to do hard work. Are you married yet? No, I'm not. I am not. But you're 34 years in of a marriage. Congratulations. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking, man? Okay. Moving along. Guys that lack confidence don't know or doesn't know when to take no for an answer. They get too emotional and tries to lock her down before she's ready. She knows way too well that it is not easy to get rid of guys like you. Guys that aren't willing to take no. Oh no, she's just playing hard to get. It's like, nah, like if she really wants you. You're 49. My oldest kid is 34. So your kid is like my age. Your kid's like my age. If you don't mind me asking, how's your relationship right now? It sounds like it's going really well. That's what it sounds like. But if you don't mind me asking, let's see. So yeah, most guys, they don't know how to take no for an answer, right? Oh, she's just playing hard to get. Like, you don't have to take all this guessing game out. You just kind of know. You know when to walk away because you respect yourself enough. So now, if you are a guy that don't know how to take no for an answer, right? My kid was an oops. Oh, okay. It's going great. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Do you guys argue? How do you guys settle like disagreements, if you don't mind me asking? So now, anyways, if you're a guy that's don't know how to take no for an answer, you metaphorically become this quote unquote fly on shit, right? To her. And it's not attractive to her at all. Respect yourself, walk away, and improve yourself, improve your game. You got married at 17. Was this high school? High school sweetheart. Now, moving along to the last slide, which is don't get discouraged. And the reason why I felt like this was important is because there's a lot of people out there that might make fun of you, that might talk down on you because of certain things you want to do. Whether you're trying to fix your relationship, fix yourself, maybe you take care of your body, take care of yourself emotionally, whatever it is. A lot of people would try to discourage you because misery loves company. And my coach, Coach Corey Wayne, he says that, in quotes, people who are too weak to follow their own dreams are always going to find a way to discourage yours. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. People who are too weak to follow their own dreams are always going to find a way to discourage yours. And I've been through way too many people that tries to discourage whatever I want to do. I just don't let that phase me anymore. I got married at 17. We talk about our problems and pray a lot. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I like how you said you talk out your problems, because not a lot of people say that. Not a lot of people can say that. And it's us as a guy. And when I say guy, I'm talking about masculine energy. And it's very important to be emotionally grounded, emotionally stable, emotionally regulated, where you just don't lose your shit all the time, right? I see way too many guys most people in relationships, they settle with that person. Most people in relationships are not happy that they're in a relationship. And so that's why they're always looking for things outside of the relationship to help fill in that void. But the beauty of that is you might not be everything for that person, but what you can do is become most of what that person wants and most of what you want for yourself. So you're not doing it for that other person, but you're doing this for yourself so that you can attract the right person into your life, so you could create a space for the right person to come into your life. And that's the beauty of constantly working on yourself. Immature guys use the wrong emotions. Yeah. And there are times where I let my emotion get to me, but I always like to think about, I'm like, why did I act that way? How can I prevent that from happening next time? Because at the end of the day, it's like, yes, I make mistakes too, but it's learning from those mistakes. That's the beauty of, through this process. So now, going back to what I was saying earlier, how people will always find a way to discourage yours, because if they can label you, in other words, make you feel irrelevant or disqualify you in their own minds, then they don't have to feel as miserable or uncomfortable with the fact that they're not living the life that they want to live, that they're not living this great life. So as long as they can pull you down into their level, hey, they're doing great. They don't need to improve themselves. So a lot of people will find a way to discourage you because you're trying to follow your dreams. Now, I forgot who said this. I found this quote somewhere. It is a comfort to the unfortunate to have had companions in woe. Right? I thought that was a really interesting quote. But now, if you want to become more successful with women or anything in life, you must understand there's certain things, there's certain principles. So with women, there's certain principles that you have to understand. What it takes to attract them. What needs to be done in dating in the courting phase. When to allow her to come to you and when to reach out to her. Everything you do is to display your strength and your confidence. It doesn't mean that you can't have vulnerability. It doesn't mean that you can't be vulnerable. You're you're doing great. I love the lessons even though I know them. I just want to encourage you, brother. Doing great. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. And I think that so the beauty of this is I didn't know all this before. And so the beauty of that is that you can learn from this. And being able to learn from this, you're going to have an extraordinary life. And so anybody could learn this. If I could learn it, anybody could learn this. And life is this process of just growing and, improving yourself. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't, fall back a little bit. It's by being able to pick yourself back up and move forward with that. And so, you have to understand. You have to understand, like, so there are certain times when a woman they pull away and they will get emotional. They might blame it on, whatever it is, right? The stars aren't aligning up, right? It doesn't have to make a lot of sense. Fact is, her feelings is not being met to what her standards are. And so when she's not feeling like that and you care about her and you love her and you want to understand her, you're going to you're never going to invalidate her feelings, meaning that her feelings is her feelings, and because your feelings are feeling like that, it is important to you and you want to listen as a guy. Most women solve their problems by listening, by having someone listening to them. And so when they solve the problems by listening, is all you have to do as a guy. Yes, you might have to spend a few 30 minutes, maybe an hour, just sit down and talk to her and see how she's doing. What's on her mind? What's bothering her? Why are you feeling like that? Okay. What caused you to feel like that? Oh, so that's what it is. And then maybe she just needs a little bit of time, but you're there to listen to her, to help facilitate her solving her own problems. And that's the beauty of that. And so men who understands women are loved by women. And it's also very important to know that, hey, it's like if you possess these qualities, you're going to have a lot of women that wants you. But the beauty of that is you want to be with her, because no woman wants to be number two. She always wants to know that she's your number one. It took me years and years to learn it. Life was hard when we were 17 with a newborn, and now have 4 grandchildren and 3 kids. Oh, wow. And were you always, okay, if you don't mind sharing some of something for the audience, if you don't mind, like what were some of your biggest regrets and what have you learned from those regrets? As I continue on with this. So let's see. When to allow her to come to you, when to reach out, right? Everything you do is to display your strength and your confidence by being able to walk away when she doesn't respect your time or respect you. So the idea of this whole slide is to not be discouraged, right? Because we often think way too much of what others might think of us. People might be judging us. Let's just say you're learning this and you're watching this over here and you're like, hey, you know what? I want to go out and I want to talk to a woman, this lady, this girl, whatever age you are, right? You want to talk to her. You want to raise her up. So you want to go up and you talk to her, but your boys are around and you get shot down because she's like, ew, get away from me, right? You had the courage to walk up. They didn't. But you got shot down. You didn't get her number. But let's just say the more you do it, the better you get, the more successful you become. Eventually, those people that are laughing at you will look at you as a person like, damn, like I wish I could be more like you, because you're willing to take the steps to move forward. It's by taking the leadership, having that courage, building that confidence, right? And so I want to end it with this quote, which is, by Ralph Waldo Emerson, which is, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Because you know, people in life, they always want you to follow what they believe, right? People that are married will always want you to be married. People that have kids will always want you to have kids, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it helps build their the reasoning and their decision making. It's like, hey, you know, you have to be like, so they feel like they had the right idea. And the beauty of being different, or being human in general, is that we're all different. No one's the same. And so if you have different beliefs, that's fine. I have people that goes against what I believe in. It's like, they call me Mr. White Knight. I'm like, how am I being a white knight? And when I ask them that question, they can't answer it. So I'm like, well, you're not really giving me much of a challenge by just blurting out words coming out your asshole. So it's not really, you're not really challenging me enough. So those are easily dismissed. But people that ask me questions like, oh, why is this? Why is that? That helps generate, like, that's how builds me up. And maybe there's certain things that I could be incorrect. Yeji? Hello, Yeji. So anyways, don't get discouraged, right? You have to be yourself, but you have to build yourself. You should never be where you just are. You should always constantly build where you're at to where you want to become. I hope this live stream is not ending this time. It is actually. I'm towards the end of the summary right now. Oh, in the beginning of the summary, which I'm going to be talking about. So slide number 1 was, it must be her idea. It is ending, yeah. It must be her idea. Men who over pursues, can't wait till she responds, are often viewed as low valued, right? Men who can't control their own feelings, same thing. The beauty of dating is like tennis. You're allowing her to come to you, so it becomes her idea. Matt, you said life is like a love bank deposit, love. So you can withdraw love when it's gone, relationship is over. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Why am I always joining at the end of the live stream? My lives are always at 12 p.m. Pacific time. So whatever time zone you're at, subtract 1 hour. And that's when I'm always on Saturdays. So slide number 2, courtship. Courtship is a slow process for women. So for women, romance, the courtship, the intimacy is a slow process that takes time, and it must not be rushed. It must not be rushed. Men who don't understand this will try to move things along too fast before she's ready, which often leads to rejection. Slide number 3, women know. The average woman is very familiar with the vibe of a guy that's too pushy, too rushed, too relationship focused. And these behaviors display a lot of lack of self-worth. They're needy. They need to seek validation. And so a guy that needs to know where he stands with her is not a masculine guy. That's not where masculine energy lands. Masculine energy is cool, calm, and collected. He's not stifled. He's not bothered. He's not perturbed. He's kind of indifferent. It's not that he doesn't care. He's just a little bit indifferent. It's like, okay, I'm looking for someone that has high levels of enthusiasm, that's willing to jump fences, not stay on the fence with me. I'm looking for that. And if she doesn't have that, then he doesn't take it too personal. It's like, hey, you know what? Maybe we just don't get along because we're just not the right match. And that's okay. And I hope the best for you. And being able to walk away from that. Yes, you might have liked her a lot. Yes, you might have been very attracted to her because us as men, we fall in love with our eyes. Women, they mostly fall in love with their ears, right? Mostly. And that's how we could keep a woman, by listening, right? By being their sounding board sometimes, just hearing them out. And so if you're a guy that speaks her language and understand her language, womanese, you're going to be way further ahead than most guys. Sir, I'm from Korea. In Korea, your life starts at 2 a.m. There, where I'll be sleeping. Oh. Well, I will always post this up. Is it Yeji? Yeji, I hope I'm saying your name right. But, yeah. I will always post it back up. Or, you could be here at 2 a.m. Oh, you deposit money to get money later, like love deposit. I might be a little confused with that because, with love. Now, what I do understand with love is because if a woman has more emotional, if she has more time to be spent with you, obviously you will always have more emotional leverage than the next guy. So, say for example, you guys broke up and she started she started dating, but then you started becoming, and the quickest way to get anybody else to change is to change yourself. And you started, like, you started realizing there's certain behaviors that you no longer, you're like, yeah, that was kind of, those behaviors that I was doing did not show a lot of confidence. It showed that I was very insecure, blah blah blah. And you start changing those behaviors, and she starts to see that, but she's already kind of going out and seeing other guys and whatever, and then she realized that there's not a lot of good people out there, and then you're becoming better yourself. She's gonna want to come back into your life. And so the whole idea is to not like, oh, I want my ex back or I want my partner back, but it's more like, well, how can I change myself to be the most attractive self again so that I can attract anybody? And if she comes along with that too, great. And that's the beauty of that. Why do you do this to me? Not intentionally. It's not intentional. It's through love. It's through love. And it's also noontime, so I will be awake. So anyways, women know. Women know. Like those type of behaviors. You don't want to show a lot of behaviors that lack a lot of self-worth, neediness, seeking validation. Like, you want to come from a place of strength, right? And you don't want to get discouraged. So people who are too weak to follow their own dreams are always going to find a way to discourage yours. So be careful with certain people in your life that don't agree with you, and that's okay. That's okay. You got to live the life that you want to live. And so, that being said, that is the end of the show. I'll stay a little bit longer to answer some questions if you guys have any questions. But, I appreciate you guys always listening to me. And if you do find this video content of value, you guys could show your appreciation. I do have like a PayPal link down below or something. Or, if you know somebody that could use some of this help, you can send my YouTube page to them. Have a great day. It's okay. You got this. Thank you. Thank you. Sir, I love your live streams, and you're a nice person, but 2 a.m. Korea, 2 a.m. in Korea. Well, I'm very appreciative of you even being on at this time, because you said it's 2 a.m. Is it 2 a.m. now, or is it like 3? Tracy, I want to thank you for reminding me that I forgot to post. Is it Yeji? Yeji, if you have an Instagram, I usually post my Instagram lives. Not Instagram lives, my YouTube lives on my story. On my Instagram story. So today, I just managed to post it up. It's 4 a.m. here, but where am I from? I'm from California. I'm from California. Have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great weekend, Tracy. Enjoy. Today's super sunny. I can't wait to see some of my friends. We're gonna have a barbecue. I'm prepping some chicken wings. We're gonna have some champagne, some beer. We'll see. We'll see what we get. Anytime. Yeah, I totally forgot. I was like, I thought I pressed that button and I didn't. And then you checked me on it. I was like, thank you. California girls are unforgettable. Why is that? Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, nice. So wait, you're 3 hours ahead right now. It's 4 o'clock. Matt, I can't really see you through that little profile picture and everything, but if you don't mind me asking you, like, what are you doing now to better yourself at, you said 50, did you say 59, 57, 59? You notice? I'll be there ASAP. Santa Cruz here. Oh, nice. Santa Cruz. California girls. Is it like the Daisy Dukes song? I don't know. 306. Oh, till 2 hours ahead. Oh, okay. Nashville, Tennessee. You got the accent, huh? You got that. I'm always surprised to see like new faces over here because to me it doesn't seem like YouTube have a lot of what you call that. It doesn't have a lot of discovery, but it seems like it does. Oh, bro, you gotta know this. You're from Korea. How do you know so much English? How do you know so much English? For 950 this year. Well, I set goals every year for new things to do. Okay. What are some of the things that you enjoy doing and what are your hobbies? I know what I need to do. So I took a body spec scan and I checked myself and they were like, Mitchell, you're gaining too much weight. And I know you guys are like, oh my God, you look fine. I'm like, yeah, but I have certain standards for myself. And it's easy to slip up, especially being in your mid-30s now. It's easy to slip. So, you know, my metabolism doesn't work the same way, right? Like, I know I'm not competing with somebody in the early 20s, but at the same time, what I could do is work on myself physically, mentally. My English is bad. What do you mean? I don't think it's bad at all. You're learning from a university? Phone call? To do phone calls? Okay. Well, that's just something that I want to work on is, you know, building myself up physically, also mentally. I just bought this new book. It's an old book, but it's one of the authors that I really like. His name is Neil Strauss. I read his book called The Game in the beginning, and then years later he realized that, you know, he fucked up. He was like, damn, you know, I need to be better. And so he wrote The Truth, and it was, you know, I've been trying to find this copy over in like Amazon and I wasn't able to find. I needed the white cover, the one that looked like kind of like a Bible. And I was like, yeah, I need this. So, you know, I got this. I can't wait to read it. Yeah, and it was cheap too. It was like $10, 10, $15. So, behind me, if you guys want to see, have you read Have I read? Oh, I read that every single year, 10 to 15 times easily. Coach Corey Lane, one of the best books that you could read on how to become irresistible. All right, this is how you could become irresistible. I will highly suggest that you guys buy this book, get it on Audible, and read it at 2x speed. You'll get done in about a few hours, about 4 hours, but you know, 10 to 15 times. Yeah, you see Pokemon because I love Charizard. So, Suicune right there. You know, those are my colognes that I use right up top. If I don't use it often, but when I do, I use it sometimes. That's my Charizard. I love Charizard. That Charizard, it's supposed to be blocking all those cords right there, but it's not. Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, NES, so Nintendo system. What else? Sega Dreamcast, Sega Genesis, my cat bed, dehumidifier, filter. I love One Piece Zoro. One Piece, I never really got into One Piece, but yeah, How to Be a 3% Man, highly recommended. And also, my coach, he has a members only on YouTube and Spotify and on his and on his page, and he talks about, so on his page is called, his website is called understandingrelationships.com. Understandingrelationships.com, and you could subscribe to his members only and save 25% if you subscribe for a year. But he has a lot of great content. He basically taught me how to become the man that I am today. When I first looked for his advice, it was mainly about how I could get my ex back. That's what it was. in the beginning, and then afterwards, he taught me more than what I was expected. So I'm gonna be a subscriber for him for the rest of my life. Like, what's $10 a month for the rest of my life, right? I don't know how many months yeah, he deserves it. He deserves, even if I don't follow all his videos or I don't watch all his videos all the time, because this is a lot of videos, right? He has a lot. And yes, it's funny, if you commit to advice, changes everything. Yeah, it is. Because 10 to 15 times, you have to learn 10 to 15 times. A lot of what I was talking about today is Coach Corey Wayne. And so there was a quote that I wrote from Coach, which was, people who are too weak to follow their own dreams are always going to find ways to discourage yours. Like, that's so impactful. I don't know. My exes was a well, okay, it depends though. It really depends. It's because the reason why I wanted my ex back was because I realized I fucked up. I messed up. And the mindset was, it's not, and what he has taught me was like, the mindset isn't to want your ex back, because you want your ex back. I guess that's important, or that's great, but it doesn't really solve anything because nothing has changed. And the quickest way to get anybody else to change is to change yourself. And so by understanding there's certain philosophies, there's certain ways on how to be human and how to approach certain situations, that's how you're going to create conditions to be in your best leverage, if you will, to have the most leverage by becoming the most attractive self again, whether it's physically, mentally, just taking care of yourself. Coming out of denial to find out what you need to change about yourself is very important. And I think that's crucial. It's crucial. And it's not, it's not what I'm writing to you guys, or what I do every week. It's not to discourage anybody. It's like to realize, hey, you know what? You might have fucked up somewhere, and that's okay. And everybody messes up, and that's fine. But no one's here to save you. Nobody cares about your problems, and you just have to understand that, like, people have their own problems. It's like nobody really cares about it. Only you should care about your own problems. So it was like I needed to wait for him 2 years because he flew to UK to study, and then someone came into his life and he forgot me one day. He called me to say that. Yeah, G. So you can see that as a cup half full, cup half empty kind of thing, right? And when he did tell you that, when he flew over there and he found somebody else, right? I think the beauty of that is that he saved you time. Yes, it had to come with a price of, your heart kind of being smashed. But, the beauty of that is there's a lot of growth. You could learn from it. So you have two options. You have an option to become better, and you have an option to become bitter. What is your option? Do you want to become better, or do you want to become bitter? And most people, I wrote this down too. Where is it? It's not here somewhere. Oops. But there's a lot of people that play in this very competitive mindset. The competitive mindset is like apathy, right? There's apathy, there's anger, there's fear. But then there's that certain threshold where you pass. Is it apathy, grief, fear, and anger? Apathy, grief, fear, and anger. And as you go up on that scale, there's more and more energy. Like, it requires more energy from you. Because when you're apathetic, you're kind of like, I don't give a shit. Life is like this, whatever. I don't care. Like, whatever goes. I don't care. Well, with grief, it requires a little bit more energy. Like, damn, like, you care a little bit. It's bothering you. So the energy kind of goes up. And it requires more from you. And then there's anger. And behind anger is always fear. So it's fear and then anger. Sorry about that. Behind anger is always fear. So you're at this fearful state. You don't know what to do, how to approach this. And then you have anger. And then when you're angry, it's like you still might be in denial, but that's okay. It's a part of that. It's part of grieving. And so afterwards, from this competitive mindset, right? Imagine the competitive mindset is like down below here, right? It's down below here. And then you pass this threshold, and then you're no longer in this competitive mindset anymore. You're no longer. And so you start accepting things. Okay, that's very interesting. It's always the same, but now my mental health is worse now. Why? Why is that? He wasted my time for real. I waited for him 2 years, bro. And it's okay. So my question to you is that for the 2 years that you have waited for him, and then now you felt like you wasted your time. My question to you was, what were certain red flags? What were certain things that you have noticed that when you waited, when have you grown during that time? Or were you just blatantly waiting for this person that decided to betray your trust and follow and go with somebody else? And it's okay to be angry. It's just about how you deal with your anger. Absolutely. So anyways, going with this competitive mindset down below, passing this threshold, you get into this collaborative mindset of being able to love yourself again. Being able to have this opportunity to be encouraged. What content does your channel focus on? That's interesting. I'm glad you asked that question. So my channel in the beginning was a very dance channel. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a dancer. I like dancing. That's part of my hobbies. But most people that wants to come over here for dancing don't want to hear about relationship. So I do need to separate that. I was 21 at the time, and yeah, I was young there, and I went crazy breaking everything. Yeah, so it's like, well, the 2 years that you waited, what have you learned? What can that carry on? Because what's done is done, right? But it could have easily been 4 years. It could have been 5 years. He could have made you wait longer than that. So, and I'm not saying this to compare you with other people, but there are people out there that has been in a long-term relationship for like 10, 20, 30 years. And then out of nowhere, the wife just gets up and be like, yeah, I don't love you no more. And I want a divorce. And of course, it just didn't happen one day. It kind of added up through time. But it's like, well, how did those things happen? And it's looking back like, okay, maybe you did wait, maybe you did waste your time, but what have you learned from those times? And I think that's the most important thing that you can grab from that, Yeji. It's because beating yourself up for the 2 years you've spent, it doesn't get you anywhere. It only gets you becoming more bitter and more upset about certain things. It doesn't make you become a better person. So, and it's always easier to blame another person of your lack of growth. Yeah, growth key is mindset. Is this the same Philip? Some people grow apart, yeah. And the best thing that you could do is, I'm glad that you picked this up, because anybody that picks up this book, I've never heard of anybody that picked this up and be like, yeah, it didn't help me at all. Like, this is how you become fucking irresistible, okay? By taking care of yourself. So, Philip, yeah, I'm glad you're in a much better place right now. But now, rare breed. Yeah, 3%. I'm still working towards that. But now he came back to me and told me to be together again. I don't know. Can you tell me about that? What'd you do? Well, basically, he's saying that relationship didn't work out. I want to go back to you. And do you want to be a person's second choice? So that's my first question. But also, whatever that turned him off in the beginning, what makes you think that it's not going to turn him off again unless you've changed? Unless you have changed completely as a person. And so it's like, well, do you really want to go back to that person? And that choice is by you. I can't tell you what to do as a person. I can't tell you what to do. What I can show you is like blueprints and things of, okay, if going back to this person, like you want to, like what my coach always said, it's like, what is your downside risk of being back with this person? Because if you got back with your ex, what has really changed in order for you to go back to have a sustainable relationship versus just something that it could just come back into your life momentarily and then you guys argue again, things like that. And also, if he has the ability to love another person so easily when you were waiting for this person and you trusted this person basically with your heart on your sleeve and thinking that this person will not betray you, what makes you think that he is not willing to do that again? And if you do accept him back, it basically encourages the behavior again. Like, oh, if he goes away another, maybe 3 years this time, maybe 4 years, or even a year, and he finds somebody else and he does that again. So what was that quote? Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you, and then shame on me, right? Was that the quote? I don't remember. James, take your time. But what advice would you give a newbie who wants to start an educational based stream? I want to do math and English channel. That's interesting. I would first, James, I would advise you to go to Think Media and listen to some of their advice on how to promote your stream at the most optimal. Obviously, I'm not doing my most optimal stream, right? I don't have tons and tons of followers. I don't shoot like a lot of short form content, but I should be doing that. I just don't. I just do my lives every week over here. So I wouldn't be the best person to ask for advice over here. No, don't get back to him. You were his last option. Oh, this, yeah, this was me when I was holding a hamster. When I was a kid. You want to see? Do you see my hamster? Yeah. I used to love this Tommy Hilfiger shirt. Tommy jeans. Yeah. Have any book recommendations? Yeah, I do. So this obviously great book. Teaches you how to it teaches you how to, be a 3% man. Not a lot of 3 out of 100 guys, right? Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Let me see. Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Take a screenshot. Obviously, you already know this book, How to Be a 3% Man. Where's my other book? Oh. For some reason, I can't find my other book, but it was Atomic Habits by James Clear that teaches you how to build good habits. It's not there. I don't know where it went. Let me see. Start with Why by Simon Sinek. Thank you, everyone. But I think like I want to get back to him. I can't trust him no more. It's like I don't know him anymore. Yeah, it's a betrayal of trust. Like, why would you? So you going back with one eye open, one eye closed, right? I'm more interested in giving my time and effort than receiving. Man's Search for Meaning. Yeah, that's a lot of great books. This is just some of the books. I suggest you read 48. Yeah. 48 Laws of Power. Robert Greene. There's Art of Seduction, Robert Greene, or Art of Greene. Also like Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules of Life. It's a great book too. There's a lot of great books. A lot of great books. And the beauty of books is that you get to spend time with yourself, right? Yeah. It's the beauty of this is by understanding and learning, right? You start taking care of yourself. Like what so if you Philip, is it Philip or Philippe? When you're working on yourself mentally, you naturally want to take care of yourself physically. And when you take care of yourself physically, you start learning things. You start no longer taking shit from other people. You start improving yourself. You start becoming better, a better version of yourself. It's like, holy shit, like why wouldn't you? Like you become this you become this inspiration to not only just for yourself, but to other people as well. And so that's why I was like, yeah, my Coach Corey Wayne, absolutely. He gets my, I'm going to be subscribed to him for the rest of my life. You know, like, what is $120 a year? What's $100 a year, right? What is $100? Unless he raises it to an amount that I cannot afford, $10 a month is something that I could definitely afford, right? And so, you know, like, if I'm able to do this too, shoot, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be. You have a very great collection. Oh, thanks, Chrissy. Bye. Does he have a membership? Yeah, so if you go to understandingrelationships.com, you could, I think he has like email newsletters that he will send to you exclusively. And if you subscribe for a year, you save 25%. Right now, I'm just subscribed to his YouTube channel because the YouTube shows me what I've watched and what I have not watched. And he releases a lot. And he also does readings with the two girls too as well. Because he breaks down the book one at a time. And each video is about like close to an hour long. So it's like, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of time on your hands to watch all his content. But let's say once you start enjoying your time to be yourself, you're going to realize your time is very valuable. Absolutely. So you're not gonna just give your time away to other people. And so that's the beauty of that. And so, you know, like little by little, that's what I want to do. He's giving me a lot of like good ideas too as well. Like, you know, if I started something very similar to Coach, right? By giving advice, I'm already doing that already, but if I do like more exclusive content too as well, I think that might be kind of helpful, and it could help, you know, become my career eventually. And that's where I want to be. Right now, I'm coaching people on the side, and I'm also a personal trainer, so I train people to start lifting weights and things like that. Check out Max Perzon. Yo, Philip, you were definitely a different person during pandemic. I'm gonna tell you that. Because you were going on my IG lives right back then, right? And now you're reading these books. I hope you read it like at least 10 to 15 times, right? Well, Coach, no? Different? Oh, you new here. Oh, my bad. I thought it was a different Philip. Because I did know a guy that's spelled the same way as yours. But yeah, go give Coach a subscription, $10 a month. You can cancel anytime, and give it a look. You know, $10. Like, what's $10? It's funny because I should start doing my own members only subscriptions where I could do like a members only talk. I am a PRP case worker. I believe you're on the right track. What's PRP? PRP case. Social worker? What's the duties? Provide assistant. This is the first time I noticed your page. Oh, for real? Yeah, I wonder how that goes, because usually, usually I don't do lives on YouTube that often. I do my lives on TikTok. I usually do my lives on TikTok. So if you guys do have a TikTok or Instagram, follow me over there. My lives are usually on TikTok. I do these lives over here because, well, I need to cut it for sure, but I do these lives over here because that's where my content is. So every week I talk about something different. So next week I'm gonna be talking about something else. And I've been doing this for a while too, but I've never changed my format, and I think I need to. I think I need to change my format by being able to, gather more people. Maybe they're more willing to watch and stuff. So anyways, thank you all for you guys spending your time with me. I really do appreciate it. I do have to get going now, but if you guys are interested, next week on the 29th at 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, I will be over here doing another live as well. If you guys ever want to watch me on my other lives, I will do random lives usually on my TikTok page. It's also MR, so Mr. Mitchell Tang, and that's across all the platforms, Mr. Mitchell Tang, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on YouTube. So you guys could follow me there. Go check it out. I do a lot of dance content over there, so over here is more relationship focused. So thank you all for your time, and I'll catch you guys next time.